Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, whenever you decide to listen to us. It is the 22nd of December as we record the Tapmas special. I should have called this the Tapmas special. I only thought of that right now. Happy Christmas, happy holidays, or whatever you're into, Dec. How are you? Are you all set for the festive season?
Yeah, happy Christmas. I'm probably as set as I'm going to be now at this stage anyway. Just have to try help people find a few winners here.
That's it. Yeah, instead of helping people find windows, you're going to help people find horses to back, which is what I'll try to be down as well. Very much looking forward to it. There's an absolute flurry of races. So we're recording 2 episodes this morning, Dec. So the first episode, this one, Tap 81, is going to record look at all the grade ones. Tap 82 is going to look at every handicap between the 26th and 29th of December on this side of the Irish Sea. So there is a few casualties. Obviously, the maiden hurdles, anything that's not a grade 1, hunter chases. We just can't do it all, unfortunately. We wish we could, but that's a lot of races to study in such a short period of time, especially with no declarations. So we're probably just short of some declarations, Dec, on some races, but look, it is what it is. Look, we get started straight away, I suppose. Why not? We've plenty to get into. The 26th of December, so Stephen's Day or Boxing Day for any of our British listeners. The Race and Post Long Distance Novice Chase. We were just saying off air that they were probably up all night thinking of the name for this one. It was a bit of a pity they couldn't have maybe put a better name on it, but it's what it is.
It's a bit disappointing because it does actually have a name. I think it's registered as the Fort Laney.
Yeah, even that, yeah.
Yeah, long distance novice steeplechase. It's not as if it's a marathon either. Like, it's 3 miles.
Yeah, I suppose it's long comparison to 2 miles, I suppose. But yeah, like there's got to be longer races over the course of the week. Right, yeah, no, you're dead right though. The long distance, it's a bit of a. I hope they change the name next year. Right, so as of right now, Dec, we've got 9 runners now. Obviously, it's not even going to be close to all of these showing up. So obviously a few of these have options at Limerick, and a few even have options in beginners chases. The likes of Queen of Bourbon and High Class Hero, who could be making their chase debuts if they came here. So it is looking like the betting is kind of telling us Croke Park. He's the 7-4 favourite at the moment, the Drinmore winner. Excellent ride from Sam Ewing from the front that day. We've got better days ahead in there around 9-4. He has also the option of Limerick, as does Croke Park. In Perry Pass, I think Willie's kind of said that he's going to go to Limerick now. They're going to stop him from going 3 miles at the moment, which is a pity because I was really keen to take him on in this race. Okay. The field's completed by the likes of Stellar Story, Waterford Whispers, Search for Glory, Key to Bourbon, High Class Hero, Buddy 1. So obviously, Dec, as we said, we're working without declarations here. But out of the 9 that are currently standing their ground right now, who do you like?
It is Croke Park, the favourite. And like much the same as why I liked him the last day. I think he's going to be even better going up a trip again. I think Jason will be the making of him. He was a decent novice hurdler without being a world beater, but look, he's already a grade 1 winner, and there's nothing in here I'd be afraid of. Like, better days ahead. Be Slade Steele, but Slade Steele, I think
he needs a fog, does he? Does he need soft ground?
I just think he might. He'd
be
probably
a bad Supreme winner,
but he had a tough spring. He had a really, really tough spring. I thought he'd a proper tough race in the Supreme. And we've seen Mystical Power come out and absolutely flop at Newcastle. So maybe last spring will have left a mark on some of those of last season's top novice hurdlers. But yeah, look, I don't know. I wouldn't be afraid of anything. I think Stellar Story goes to Limerick as well. If he doesn't, he'd be the one. I wanted to take him on at Punchestown in the Florida Pearl, but I was more impressed than I thought I would have been now with that. So if he was to turn up, he'd worry me. But no, I do like Croke Park, and he'd be my selection here.
Yeah, he did. He stuck his neck out at Punchestown, Stellar Story, didn't he? Like, he really did want to win. He's a bit leery though, isn't he? Like,
I thought he was going to be an absolute bow. I thought he was going to be very, very slow, a very wood type.
Back to the sign there.
Yeah, so, but yeah, he surprised me now at Punchestown. So he's the one who would worry me. But no, I do like Croke Park.
There's one I'm extremely keen on, to the point where I've actually backed him for Chelsea. I don't think he's going to run here. He's probably going to go Beginner's Chase. There's a race on the 28th. I love it. The Rising Stars Beginner's Chase. Our Rising Stars Beginner's Chase. England's is Grade 2 of Canton. They don't even need to win to be a Rising Star in Ireland. But anyway, so yeah, it's Queen of Bourbon is the one I wanted to kind of poke out. Only a 5-year-old. Avoided the top novices last season with a kind of a sparing campaign. He had 2 runs in France before making a winning Irish debut at Naas. Beat Westport Cove at Clonmel, was third to Better Days Ahead and Waterford Whispers in the Martin Pipe, but was carrying, I think, 11 stone 7 along with Better Days Ahead to Waterford Whispers 7 or 11 stone. And then he was very, very impressive at Ayr. Like, I thought he kind of, like, I know it probably wasn't the strongest race in the world. He was entitled to do what he did, but the way he just kind of bounded away, I'd say he's going to be an unfurnished enough horse this season, but I think he's going to win Grade 1 chases. I think there's a lot of.
He is one I really, really like as well. But the reason I haven't mentioned him is
he hasn't jumped the fence yet.
I don't think he's going to run and chase debut in a Grade 1. But yeah, like you've covered him quite well. I'm mad about him now. I was impressed when he won at Naas, and we probably talked him up a bit for the Martin Pipe as well before the Waterford Whispers.
And they could be 3 exceptional novices that ran in that Martin Pipe. Obviously, Better Days Ahead, Waterford Whispers, Queen of Bourbon, and the way the Supreme form is going to go, like, you might be better off just looking at that race. And it's so yeah. I want to say is Queen of Bourbon. He probably won't be any price if he goes for the Beginner's Chase. Maybe High Class Hero set the market for him there. They both have similar entries, but one of them could go here. Don't think it's going to happen, but win, lose or draw, if Queen of Bourbon was to for some reason rock up here, I'd be extremely interested in him. Going forward, I have already backed him for the Brown Advisory at the Cheltenham Festival. I think that's where he probably ends up. I do think, though, if Better Days Ahead does run, he's probably the one for here and now. I did think that was impressive, beating Slade Steel. I thought he jumped quite well. He did jump a little bit left, and Croke Park was impressive, showing all the gears to win the Drimmore. I do think this is going to be a race to follow, even though there's only going to be 4 or 5 runners. I think it's going to be a strong renewal. I have Better Days Ahead just about beating Croke Park, unless Queen of Bourbon runs. If he does run, I will have a little each way betting him, because I think he could definitely be the real deal over fences.
I can't see Willie Mullins debuting one in the Grade 1 over fences.
No, neither could I. But it's just that the fact he has 2 potential debutants in here, in him and High Class Hero. They're both in on the 28th. Is there a chance that one of them goes here? Like, Paul Townend's probably going to go to Kempton, so that could maybe signal. I don't even know who's going to ride these horses, to be honest. So it's a bit of a conundrum without declarations. But assuming Queen of Bourbon doesn't run, I'm going to go Better Days Ahead. Moving on deck to the 27th, the Paddy's Rewards Club Chase. So my Grade 1 bet of the week is in here. It's probably, it won't be many points for guessing who it's going to be. But before I ramble on about that, we currently have 11 in the field deck. Who do you like here? Setting the market right now is the Enigma Gaelic Warrior, Found a 50 Marine National, Dino Blue, all in there as well. So who do you like?
I'm thinking along the same lines as you, Andy. So I don't want to steal your thunder.
No, by all means. Like, it's
well, come here. Is Banbridge going to Kempton?
It's looking that way. Yeah.
Banbridge goes to Kempton. It's Found the 50 then. Yeah, I reckon he could be a good thing here.
I'm mad at him. Look, Gaelic Warrior's clearly had issues this season, hasn't he? Like, we haven't seen him.
He's issues all the time in his head.
Yeah, but he's issues in his head, but he's obviously had training issues because he was supposed to come out earlier. The original plan was to go for the King George. They haven't been able to get him out. Look, he's won around Leopardstown, but he's also disgraced himself around Leopardstown. So, look, I couldn't trust him. He could be a fresh horse as well. Possibly a big enough crowd. Obviously he's won at Cheltenham, so the crowd mightn't be a factor, but first time up it might be. And I don't know what was wrong with him in the parade ring when he unseated behind Factofoil here last February. Like, there was just clearly the horse was just having a bad day. But Found a 50 has been brilliant around Leopardstown in the past. Does have a habit of jumping a little bit right. but I think people are crabbing his form because he only beat Solness and Neck last time out. I just think he's pretty bone idle in front. He's got to be race fit. There's going to be no excuses for him. He's a really, really good jumper in my opinion, and I do think he takes all the beat. And I don't think anything gets really near him here, assuming that he goes, assuming all is well with him. And I'm also obviously taking the view that Gaelic Warrior is going to need this. So it's found a 50 fairly confidently for me, Dec. One thing I would just ask you about, and I don't want to put you on the spot here, but found a 50 and Gaelic Warrior are two horses that need a lead. I am banking that Found a 50 is a quicker horse than Gaelic Warrior. I think he is, because Gaelic Warrior is a staying 2-mile novice last year. So is there any horse in here that you think could take them along? Because I can't see Marine Nationale doing it. Would Solness Senesia, would it be maybe Gentleman to Me?
I don't know if Solness will go to the front. With Blue Lord?
He could do, yeah. He could do. I saw my bigger worry than Gaelic Warrior would be someone nicking this from the front. But I think there's too much talent between the ones at the top of the market, especially Found a 50. So Gentleman to Me could do it, but I don't think he's as good as he was, given his form this season. So and then Marine Nationale, do you think he'll complete Dec?
Look,
is that harsh?
Yeah, it's a bit harsh. I think the horse really has his problems. It's not his fault he can't breed, but he'll look. The other side is maybe he's just not good enough either. Like we've only seen him out of Novice company once, and he was just put in his place, wasn't he, at Nice? So
he was taught a lesson. That's what these sparing campaigns can do. You get away with it as a novice hurdler. Sometimes you can even get away with it as a novice chaser. But when you go into open company and you don't have that much experience, stuff like that tends to happen.
Yeah. Look, maybe it's just not good enough. Whereas Found a 50 has looked the real deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree. So Found a 50 hopefully gets us the Christmas money back on the 27th. Onto the Paddy Power Future Champions Novice Hurdle, also on the 27th. It's a 2-mile novice, won last year by Codwell Potter. Has been won in the past by the likes of Classical Dream, Mighty Potter. Some obviously top horses have won this race as well. So right, Dec, we've got 14 runners as of right now. The favourite is Salvador Mundi. Is he still alive? Questions on a postcard, or answers on a postcard, please. We're not 100% sure about that one. Romeo Coolio trying to emulate Mighty Potter in losing the Royal Bond but winning this. He's in here at around 4-1. And then there's a few that I like. Blue Devassi as well. Obviously, he has a Form B entry at Aintree. So chances are he could go across the sea and try and not fall at the last like Farron Glory did last year, unfortunately. And then there's Ballygunner Castle, and I just want to double check that Romeo Coolio doesn't have a Form B entry as well. He does have a Form B entry. Okay, so Gordon Elliott obviously has the options of Aintree for his horses here, Dec. So
is that the Talwart, is it?
It is, yeah. I probably should just say the old Talwart. Right, who do you like here in this grade one?
It's probably Blue Devassi, because I was quite taken by him at Navan the last day. I've actually been at the races twice when he won his maiden at Fairly House, but that day at Navan, I was quite impressed. And looking through this field at the moment, I don't think it looks too deep. Like Salvador Mundi, what is he like? He won that race at Tipperary by about 200 lengths, but nobody wanted to give within 200 lengths of him either. Like, that's not real form. You can't read that as genuine form. So he's a proper social media hype horse. But look, if he's gonna set the bar here, he'd be happy to take him on. Romeo Coolio, very, very good on his debut, his hurdling debut at Down Royal, but it was kind of more like what we predicted in the Royal Bond at Fairly House, and it's I don't know whether you just want to put a line through. If you want to put a line through and go back to that performance on his hurdling debut, yeah, you'd put him there with a chance, but I'm not sure I am prepared to put a line through to the Fairly House.
Hard to trust, isn't it? Like, that the winner was well exposed. Like, it's not as if the winner had the winner was beaten in handicap company at Listowel the previous start. Like, so, it's hard to,
Look, Ballygunner Castle, which is probably where you're going, Andy, and look, I know he was nearly taken onto the cross country course, wasn't he? Or he was stopped. I was there that day as well, and or it was a Ferryhouse. Was it Ferryhouse?
That was Ferryhouse, yeah. So he's nearly taken on to the inner track, wasn't he?
Yeah. So, look, he's obviously got a big engine to go and win the way he did after that. But I think that was a terrible maiden. Special Cadeau was second to him, and look, you do have to upgrade the performance because of what happened coming to the last. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure he's the real deal either. Whereas Blue Devassi just looked so good. Having really impressive. And that was a grade 3, I think, was it?
Blue Devassi, I think it was. Yeah, it was grade 3. Yeah, was it the Monksfield? I'll have to double check that.
Yeah, and it was Mr. Percy who followed him home, which I think that's solid enough form. I think he's bringing the strongest form into the race, and I think he'd be very tough to beat.
So it's the 4 auction that he won. The Monksfield's a 2 mile 4. The 4 auction's the 2 mile. No, that is decent form. I'd have my reservations about him on soft ground. As I said, he's a beautiful action, and Gordon's gotten a lot of experience into him, and he took him out at the. Like, I know they declared him for the Royal Bond. And then they took him out. Obviously, I don't know if there's maybe politics there trying to get winners for different owners. I don't know, but it's hard to envision him not winning the Royal Bond, given the way it turned out. So, especially with the ground, I think Blue Devassi goes wherever the ground's better. I think that's why he has the entry too. I could actually see him being declared for both races, and obviously being a non-runner in one of them, but I imagine he goes wherever the ground is better. And yeah, he sets the standard in my opinion, 100%. Salvador Mundi, like he's 7-4, but as you said, right, he's just an online hype horse at this stage. Look, the 6th in the Triumph Hurdle on his first start for Willie Mullins was a good run, by all means. But like that was a schooling race. He basically won at Tipperary. Like, as you said, nothing wanted to get within a postcode of him. It was kind of farcical, really, in a way. I am going to go with Ballygunner Castle. I can understand why you've crabbed the maiden form. They did all finish kind of in a heap, but I think Ballygunner Castle should have won by about 20 lengths, all being kind of well. We might get a better outlook on the form closer to the off. Like, I know Somersky, who was a nice horse, finished 4th. He has an entry at Down Royal. Now, he could go to Limerick on the 29th as well. Don't Stop the Music has no entry at the minute. He's a 7-year-old though, so he might be a little bit on the hard to train side. So hopefully we see him soon. And Special Cadeau actually has a handicap hurdle entry on the same card. So if Ballygunner Castle was to go well in this race, I could see maybe the money coming for Special Cadeau, who's actually in the race after the 220. So this is the 145 to 220 is going to be Special Cadeau. I'm going to stick with Ballygunner Castle though. I think I think what he did on his last start was really, really impressive to win. I think it takes a certain type of horse to be able to win a race like that. And maybe Danny Mullins is on him. Maybe he tries to steal it. We'll see. Right, Dec, we'll move on to the 28th and the Savills Hurdle. This confused me. I thought they duplicated the race there. I did not know this was renamed the Savills Hurdle, but I suppose it makes sense. 3 miles, grade 1 level. This is probably the worst domestic grade 1 of our festive period here. Like, this, nothing really that gets you excited about this. Obviously, Hidden Valley Lake ran so well at Ascot on Saturday, so he's obviously not going to run. Bob Ollinger's, I'm still of the opinion he won't beat the Ambulance over 3 miles. And then you just have like the old legends, Asterion Forlange, Beacon Edge, Home by the Lead, your 2-1 favourite. Intense Raffles probably working back from the Grand National. We've Maxim in here at 40-1. I don't know if I'll be able to resist myself. And then you've got the likes of, horses stuck in purgatory like Sir Gerhard and a few others. So no Ballyadam as well, which is a bit disappointing. I would have been interested in him here over 3 miles. Who do you like here, Dec?
Is Briarday's Head going here?
Not a chance.
No,
I didn't even mention her for that reason. She runs on the 29th, I'd imagine. I'm actually very surprised why she has an entry, to be honest.
the race could do her, but we don't want her to run here either.
No, we don't. But like I say, Gordon did it because he won this with Irish Point last year, who then ended up in the champion hurdle. So I can understand it, but I say the chances are, I'd be my job be on the floor. She's declared for this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'd be disappointed, even though it would make the race. But look, the only one that's really of any interest to me here is probably Beacon Edge.
Of course it is. Well, come on, tell me more.
Look, he's bounced back to form. Like, you know, he wasn't beaten overly far in the Hatton's Grace. He won Wetherby. Was it Wetherby or one of those?
Yeah, it was Wetherby. He won the long distance hurdle at Wetherby.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's called the long distance or Bet365 hurdle, maybe.
Yeah,
but,
look,
yeah, he won that.
If there's anywhere where he's going to get ground he needs in the middle of winter, it's Leopardstown, and there's holes in everything, or they are what they are. Whereas I think you're going to get quite a nice price about a horse who's bounced back to form, and would we say that Twilight? He's only 10. He's the same age.
10 rising 11, yeah.
Yeah, Asterion for long, like, you know. So he's only a year older than Bob Ollinger, and do you know what I mean? Like, he feels like he's been around forever, but he's shown this season that he's certainly retains an awful lot of visibility. So it's a race you could fall in. You could just fall in and win this.
You could, honestly, you're 100% dead on. You could actually fall in here.
So, like, I'd go with, like, I suppose Home by the Lee is bringing the best form into the race. But, like, he's a horse who he's beatable, you know. And I just think, look, sometimes in horses, they get towards the end of their career, they can show a bit of form again, and there's 2 or 3 races in them in a row, and you know, we might be, maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on him, but I think we can see a big race from Beacon Edge.
Very good old Beacon Edge. The most intriguing entry, even though I don't think he's going to be running, he's only rated 130, is Rocky's Diamond. So Declan Queally throwing in his 4-year-old gelding at a potentially very high level here. You know, won a Gowran handicap of Shade Cosley last time out off a mark of 122. Got £8 for it. Has a lot to find, and you could maybe make the argument 4 rising 5. Should there be maybe a weight for age concession over 3 miles? I don't know. Very interesting entry nonetheless. If they do run him here, they must think an awful lot of him to even give him an entry. And he'd be an intriguing runner. He's not one that you could tip up with any degree of confidence, but he'd be one that you could definitely watch. I don't think I'm going to be able to help myself. I'm probably going to have to just, by almost default, I looked at this race and said I'm not going to tip up Maxim, but like, it's his first start over 3 miles since he beat Ashdale Bob in a Punchestown handicap. His start before that, when he started over 3 miles, he beat Gway Quill at the Dublin Racing Festival, also in a handicap company of 137. So he's won his last 2 over 3 miles. He's a better horse over this trip. He should be race fit now. I would just ignore his first 2 runs. Look, they probably won't give Carl Miller the ride in a grade 1, but Carl clearly gets on really well with this horse. Just book him out. Just let him go hurdle to hurdle, and just see how he goes, because he's probably too high in the handicap. Despite winning his last 2 handicaps over 3 miles, he is probably a little bit too high in the handicap now, but he is still only 7. And I just want to see what he's made of over 3 miles in this company. And I don't think it's going to take a lot of, based on his 3 mile form, I don't think he's going to have to improve too much to get involved, is basically what I'm trying to say. Given that the favourite won't stay and you've tipped up a 25 to 1 shot, that's, you know, not high in anything. Yeah, it'd be some forecast. Like, I know Sir Gerhard as well, Sender Cleggan, like, Jesus, like Noble Yates, he'd be as fat as a fool probably, so he's going to need this run. Yeah, like, I suppose like, even if Home by the Lee, and it's maybe I'm being a bit unfair on him, if he was that little bit more trustworthy, but he can throw in a howler, like, he'd be the best 2 to 1 shot probably of the week, if you could fully trust him. Like, if he runs to form, he will just win this race. But you know, he was a hot order for it, I think, last year, and he bombed out, didn't he? So, or not? No, he didn't. He was Irish Point. Maybe it was 2 years ago, after he won a Liz Mullen, beating Florian Porter and Bob Ollinger, when they were in their pomp. So He's just not quite that trustworthy. But for me, I think Maxim, if he just goes to the front and, pops hurdle to hurdle, I think that 40-1, I think he'd have a fantastic chance of at least hitting the frame. So it'd be Maxim for me and Beacon Edge for you, Dec, yeah?
Yeah, that's it. I'll do that with the first forecast as well.
Yeah, we might have to. You'll be up there the 28th, sure, won't you? We'll do it together. Right, let's go on to the main event of the week, the Savills Chase. What a race this is. So we have obviously a few horses in here that are going to the King George, Envoy Alain, and obviously Splan's Tower as well. So it's essentially looking like the John Durkin minus Splan's Tower, except over 3 miles. Is kind of what we're looking at here. So we don't have maybe we add Jerry Colombe as well, but apparently he has the option of Lingfield for that the Winter Million race that they
Windsor or Ascot.
No, is it not at Lingfield anymore?
No, it's Windsor and Ascot.
Of course it is.
The Berkshire Millions.
It's the Freezing Million, is it? The Royal Freezing Weekend Festival. Anyway, look, it looks like it's going to be a good race, Dec. A few of these probably have nationals of certain descriptions on their mind, like Manella Cocoon, or I know the way you're thinking. I am Maximus, who I think will go extremely well if he was allowed just pop fence to fence. But anyway, who do you like here? I should also say Corbett's Cross going King George as well before I pass over. Who do you like, Dec?
It is hard to look past the top 2 in the market in Galloping the Champs, in fact, the foil and.
Yeah.
Until I seen Galloping the Champs at the races, until I seen him on his toes, Buzzy, I couldn't back him. Just like I've said it a few times, he's such a hard spring last year, like tough races, really tough Gold Cup, and I wouldn't be confident. I'd love him to win. I hope he wins, but I couldn't trust that he will. So, like, it's not a race I'll be rushing to have a bet in. I hope he wins, but I couldn't say with any, confidence that he will until I see him there at the races and see how he's behaving. If he's flat, I think he'll run his race, but I don't think he'll win. It'll be tough to beat Fact the Foil. So. Look, I hope Galloping the Champs wins 3 Gold Cups, but I've been saying it since last year. That was a tough Gold Cup on him, and he might never get back to his peak again.
When they're younger horses, they can, like, he's been chasing since he was 5 years of age, which is something that I usually love to see, and it gives you the opportunity to do, like, to win 3 Gold Cups in a row. That was a very tough Gold Cup on him, but I also think that the John Durkin that he ran in this year, where he brought them along, I think that was was way stronger than last year's when he got beat by Fast or Slow. I don't think he lost anything, if at all, really, in defeat, and I still think he easily sets the standard. He's back at Leopardstown, he's back at 3 miles. I think this is a big test to Fact to Foil, who would fully deserve to go Gold Cup favourite if he was to get the better at Galloping the Champs here. I agree with you. I don't see anything else getting into it. Conflated is probably past it now. And Voilen, as we said, going King George. Gentleman's Game has had a hold up, but he is still entered here. But regardless, he's going to need this run. Jerry Colombe, look, it's fair to say in this, with these conditions, just isn't good enough. I'd say it is.
Yeah, he's never going to beat Galloping the Champs.
No.
And he had a tough Gold Cup as well.
He did.
Really, I like at Down Royal, he looked like he really feeling the Gold Cup.
He did. No, he absolutely did. He was going as fast as he wanted. Hewitt had him out of his comfort zone from.
But he is a touch slow. In my opinion, like he's a dour stayer, right? Like he's just not as good as Galloping the Champs, and there's no shame in that. Like he's
exactly. He's rate 177 for God's sake.
There's probably nothing as good as the man, in training. Yeah. So, but it's just unfortunately he's around at the same time as him. So
completely agree. The one I would give a shout out to each way, and it was only because there was so much money for him the morning of the Durkin, Now he did go back out to it kind of a bigger price, but it was interesting to see the money for Grange Clare West, who sits here at 33. He was pulled up. He tried to go with Galopin Des Champs and paid the price for it coming into the home turn, or basically from 4 out. I would just be interested to see. There was a bit of, as I said, a bit of money behind him. He won the novice race here last season. Be interesting to see who rides him. And yeah, I think he'd have might have a sneaky place chance. If all was being equal, I would give I Am Maximus a huge chance.
But he's gone back for the Grand National. Like,
that's it. Yeah, no, exactly not. Despite, I think he could win a Grand National off top weight. With that said, he will be top weight. He's rated 169 for God's sake, so he will be top weight. And I the way he won that Grand National last year, I wouldn't bet against him repeating it. Like, he was so impressive. And then obviously Manella Kakuna and Another Way of Thinking. I'd be worried about Another Way of Thinking being able to complete the course. I think his jumping fell asunder last time out, and like it's his God-given ability that made him win at Aintree. Like he took fences home with him that day as well. Manella Kakuna is no chance. Nice horse, maybe a nice handicapper, but working back from the national, and then obviously Spillane Tower not going to run. Would have been very interesting to see how he would have gone around Leopardstown, because all his form seems to be going the other way, but they'll have to try it. Maybe the Irish Gold Cup. So Dec, I'm going to stick with the champ. Galopin Des Champs for me. I'm confident he'll be able to knock off Factifoil under these conditions. Do you have a selection, or are you going to?
No, I don't have a selection until today, because I will need to see Galopin Des Champs. I just want to enjoy this race, and
I totally agree.
Wins. I hope he does. But
Rascal of the Fields is what apparently it translates to. Great name. Right, our penultimate grade 1 of the week, Dec, is the Guinness 00. Why are they calling that? Come on. The Guinness 00 Faugheen Novice Chase. To be nobody on the 00s down in Limerick, surely. Anyway, look, this is very similar to the race we kind of started off with in terms of entries. Like, a lot of these are kind of duplicating now. Obviously, we have Ballyburn, who was odds on for this, but has now gone to 11-10 after his entry in the Wayward Lad at Kempton, where he could end up coming up against Sergino, which would be fantastic. It'd be really interesting. But obviously, we've already mentioned Better Days Ahead, Croke Park, Farron Glory in here as well, right? 140, Dec. So, interesting. Maybe one for the new novice race at Cheltenham. We'll see.
Could you trust him?
No, to be brutally honest with you, not after he's bled. But then again, I don't think he lost a whole lot in defeat, getting beaten by Touch Me Not last time out. And then we've Goodland and Pere Pass, who looks like he's coming here. Jordan's Mirazor West, Sam Majest, Search for Glory, Stellar Story, and Waterford Whispers, who has a plethora of entries over the festive period in beginners chases and grade 1s. Who do you like here, Dec?
I don't know, because I just based my opinion around Ballybourne turning up and winning this, but
okay.
You said he's going to Kempton.
He's not definitely going to Kempton, but they seem keen on going to Kempton.
So look, what we're looking at in Pere Pass. He won very, very easy. He's obviously got a big engine. He's a quick horse. His jumping, I thought it could, in a better race, could be borderline dangerous.
I wouldn't disagree with you there.
Yeah, I didn't think it was great, and I think he's going to be under pressure now in a better race. I don't know. I don't have a massive opinion in this race. I do really like Jordan's.
137.
I know, 5-year-old.
Yeah, you'd have to give it a second look. Obviously, now we're talking about the springtime here, but like, not a bad. That's not a bad hour rating now.
No, it's not at all. Look, I've mentioned Stellar Story already. I thought he'd be about at the start of the season, but I thought he was impressive enough. Can he come back and trip and win? Like, I don't know. I'm struggling to give an opinion on this race this far out. To be honest,
it's very difficult. It's very difficult. I agree with you. We'd probably best one to maybe tweet about. Because as I said, we're kind of rinse and repeating, and obviously we'll have more news about Ballyburn later in the week as well. Will they go across the Irish Sea? It's a big question. Be cool to see if they did. maybe getting rid of that 2 mile chase at Leopardstown was the right idea, but no, maybe not. We'll see. Right, Dec, we'll move on to the final Grade 1 of our week, which is, I suppose, probably the most intriguing renewal of the Neville's Hotel Hurdle, or formerly the Matheson Hurdle, that we've seen in quite a while. State Man obviously lost his unbeaten domestic record last time out to Brighter Days Ahead. Well, obviously he fell on his Irish debut, didn't he? But I suppose he lost his unbeaten record of when he completes races. I should probably correct myself. He's still 4-7 to beat Brighter Days Ahead, who's currently 9-4. Obviously Lossiemouth is going to Kenton by the looks. You can pretty much discount everything else. I don't think anything else really has a prayer. But Mystical Power, if you wanted to forgive him the bad run at Newcastle, 16-1, but that was just really, really bad. King of Kingsfield potentially reverting back from fences. He didn't run that badly against Brighter Days Ahead at Down Royal. Was then second behind Down Memory Lane. He could be one maybe for the places. If he was to be declared, I don't know, maybe is he in here to do donkey work? I don't know. Not a horse I'd want to trust doing the donkey work, but I can't see any other reason why he'd be in here. Dec, do you think State Man reverses the form then at Leopardstown? Yeah.
I just think she was fitter than him the last day. He headed her, and he might have just blew up, and she's dead. I just think he's better than her. He's a better 2 mile hurdler than her. I think he's one of the best we've seen. That's why he's racking up all the Grade 1s, and I just think he's a better horse, and he reverses the form with match fitness now.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Their handicap ratings kind of tell you a similar story as well. Like State Man 169, Brighter Days Ahead was given 155 for that effort. Now she does get her £7. The handicap is still
real. I was just looking at that there, and I was like, she couldn't be 155.
Well, yeah, that's what she only got £2 apparently for that. So obviously the handicapper just thought it's kind of similar to what you said, maybe match fitness and State Man a little bit.
It's the fact he headed her. It's the fact he actually headed her and just got outstayed then. Makes me really, really confident that he just beats her this time.
It'd be nice if they both jumped the second last together, but Paul and it's not going to be Jack. Is it going to be Sam Ewing actually?
Probably
going to be Sam Ewing. If both of them just took their horses back on the bridle, and then it was a proper hell for leather down the home straight where the last hurdle determines who wins and who loses, and I think that's what is going to happen, and I think it'd be brilliant. 2 mile hurdling hopefully at its best. So I'll agree with you. I think State Man does reverse the form. Do I want to back him at 4-7? Absolutely not. I'll happily sit back and watch this. I cannot remember the last time, if ever, having a bet in the Madison Hurdle. I honestly don't think I've ever had a. Maybe our Connor was the last time I had a bet in the Madison Hurdle, when he got beat by Hurricane Fly. Brilliant race. Or maybe that was even the Irish Champion Hurdle. So he got closer to him in the Irish Champion Hurdle. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Dec, do you have a best bet of the Grade 1s over the festive period? Is there anything that you absolutely, for me, it's obviously found a 50. I'm confident in found a 50.
Probably, I'd probably, those first three, Crow Park, found a 50, and Blue Devassi.
Blue Devassi. Assuming Blue Devassi doesn't go to Aintree.
Yeah,
of course. Perfect. It'll be similar for me. It's definitely found a 50. Really, really fancy him to turn over Gaelic Warrior. In the 2 mile chase. That's probably the nap of the tap then. I would imagine.
Found a 50.
Found a 50 nap of the tap.
Go with that. I'd be happy to go with that.
Yeah, absolutely. He's around 11-4 at the moment. I think that's a really good price. Hopefully he's able to get the better Gaelic Warrior and get us off to a flyer on the 27th. Well, until next time, which is hopefully in about 5 minutes time when you guys go through the handicaps with us. Thank you for listening. Keep liking, sharing, subscribing, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah.